I'm very excited and delighted that Prime Minister Modi's government in India has been doing a lot to revive the ancient yoga tradition, including Ayurveda. Yoga, unfortunately, is a tradition that has been not only understood but misunderstood. Yoga is not simply a physical exercise, and that is the common understanding of people. So when you say that I am doing yoga, it means that you are doing some physical exercise. Yoga is a very involved subject, is a practice. For instance, go to Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, whom I consider Patanjali as the father of yoga. Yogas chitta vritti nirodha. Yoga is stopping the mind. And how many people understand yoga as a practice to stop the mind? And why you have to stop the mind? Patanjali answers by saying that because then only you can see your real self. Your real self is something that can give you omniscience, omnipotence, and omnipresence. So the yogis were into acquiring the highest knowledge that is possible, not linear scientific technological understanding. They are not satisfied with that. They just wanted to understand the ultimate wisdom behind or embedded in human existence. How about the scriptural evidence for yoga being the highest intelligence? Look at the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita says, yoga is karmashu kaushalam. Skill in action is yoga. It is not physical exercise. And it also says dukkha samyoga vyogam. It can also put an end to your pain. And you see the Vaisheshika also talking about dukkha abhava. So it can stop pain. So there is a different understanding of yoga, and that is what is going to give India a very, very prestigious position, because yoga is the study of the highest wisdom. And through this highest wisdom, you can understand what life is and live life to the maximum possible level. And this is what the yogis were trying to understand. And Krishna says, it is skill in action. Whatever you do, it should be, a very fruitful and skillful action. Karmasu kausalam. And yoga will help you. So if you do physical exercises, will it help? No. It will help for the body, but will it help you in understanding skillful action, or will it stop pain? Then primarily yoga is, as Patanjali says, chitta vritti nirodha. It is a matter of understanding the technology of stopping the mind. There's great understanding about it, because the mind is giving you limited access to reality. As long as you have the mind, you will never be able to see reality in totality. Patanjali used the word swarupa. Your real self is omniscient, omnipotence, and omnipresence. And nobody is living that life because they don't practice yoga. Having said that, I have to add that I don't want to present yoga in a traditional way. Yoga should be presented as a brain science, a science that even modern neuroscience is not anywhere near to the understanding that the yogis had about the brain. Many years ago, in 1985, I presented a paper in a conference while I was at the University of Pittsburgh, and it was about the understanding of the brain by the yogis and the Indian tradition as represented in the 5 heads of Shiva, 4 heads of Brahma, and 6 heads of Kartikeya. These all represented different parts of the brain. And it was a conference I was very proud to be a part of. The head table where a Nobel laureate from Princeton was chairing the session. Eugene Wigner, he passed away now. He was an associate of Einstein, but he was very much into studying human consciousness. So how am I going to teach yoga now? As a brain science that helps you to stop the mind, that helps you to stop stupid thoughts. The yoga to me is a stupid thoughts inhibitor. Yoga will inhibit stupid thoughts coming into the brain. And they had great understanding. For instance, all our intellectual apparatus, like manas, which is minding, thinking thoughts, buddhi, intellection and discrimination, and chitta, which helps you to decide the right thing, they are all here, according to yoga, situated here. That's why they put some rudraksha hitting this area. Because this area is connected to the reticular formation, the pons and the basal ganglia, and your respiration is associated with here, because basically your respiration or your breathing has to change in order for you to move from a human-based intelligence to a divine consciousness, which is available in the pituitary and the pineal gland. So if you are going to teach yoga in a traditional way, following Patanjali or whom I have great respect for, it is not going to be relevant to the 21st century. So if you want yoga to be understood by the entire world, it has to be understood as in terms of neuroscience, and it can contribute a lot to the neuroscience. And the neuroscientists will be so amazed to know how these people were able to know about, for instance, the third eye, what they call now. They know that this pineal gland exactly looks like an eye. It has a cornea, it's a retina. And how did they know about the cornea and the retina? Did they cut open the brain and then find out if there is an eye, a cornea, and then a retina? No. They had an understanding which came to them through a non-physical means, and that is yoga. So yoga helps you to understand things in a different way than a linear scientific technological understanding leads us to. So yoga has a great future, great future. So going forward, I would like the next Yoga Day, International Yoga Day, should focus on yoga as understood by Patanjali, who said it is chitta vritti nirodha. Again, Patanjali has to be understood not, speaking certain words, because Patanjali was a very realized saint. Chit, Brit, these are sounds, phonemes, that can create specific states of mind. And this is the research that I have started doing research with some scientists. And then there is a scientist, a neuroscientist at Harvard Medical School. He has been working with me and going to test this signature of these phonemes on the brain through fMRI studies. Now, the Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh, for instance, has come up with devices, again using fMRI studies, that you can even, the computer can understand what you are thinking about. Of course, they are very, very, on the early stage, but then there is proof that through computers can tell what you are thinking about. But what Patanjali is saying is, as long as you are thinking, then you will have the known knowledge. If you want the knowledge that is unknown, which is wisdom, what the Japanese Zen Buddhism will say is, when you know, you don't know, when you don't know, you know. Or Shiva says, Jnanam bandha. When you have knowledge, it gives you bondage. In other words, knowledge is the beginning of ignorance. So Western science is still groping in darkness. They're still lost in the linear understanding. We cannot give it up because we are stuck in this model. But yoga can play a major role. If you study the literature on yoga and the psychic abilities, you can spend at least 10, 20 lifetimes or even more to understand what they are talking about. So the next yoga day should be one in which yoga is not presented as a physical exercise, but as one that can enhance your brain. So that's why I'm very keen on looking for the research at Harvard to be completed, where I can show that how these phonemes can enhance the brain in a dramatic way. We have already done that. I have about 100 centers in India where I use these sounds. And with the children from very humble backgrounds, poor people, and within a few weeks of using these sounds, their brain changes dramatically, as represented by the results that have come from all these schools. And now I'm very happy that the U.S. schools, public schools, government schools, have also introduced this phonemic intelligence, which dramatically improves the functionalities of the brain within, say, 3 to 4 weeks of training. I look forward to collaborate with people in advancing yoga as a neuroscience, as brain science. Thank you.